Beautiful peeps. Let's talk relationship stuff today. I just feel like I want to yarn. I want to talk about triggers, emotional triggers, why they happen, and like how to change them, and like all that stuff. Like, especially if you want to create a healthy relationship, especially if you want to be in one and not sabotage, you have to learn yourself and learn what your triggers are so that you can change the course of the relationship. Otherwise, you're just going to do the same thing over and over and you're not going to get the outcome that you want. So, if your outcome is an healthy relationship, you have to learn why you do the things that you do. And looking at your triggers, that's how you're going to learn that. A trigger is just something that comes up that makes you have like a negative reaction. So, what I want to talk about today is like in regards to relationships, one of my triggers, because I've dealt with a really nasty person a while ago, they did many things that were shady, and at the time, like, I didn't know that, but that these are red flags that a lot of women know now. Um, and I've shared some of those red flags with you fellas. One of the things is, like if a man doesn't make time for me, I feel like he does not want to make time for me. I'm not a priority, and you know, I'm not important. But what I want to talk about is, so the last man that I had a relationship with, he made a lot of time for me, but the thing is, he made a time where like, so what happened with that man was he made time when he was at work, and he made time um, in the night time, obviously, because he had a wife. I didn't know that. People know this story, but he only made time, I guess, when she wasn't around, and a lot of the times it wasn't at night time. So one of my triggers now is if a man doesn't make time for me when he's at home and not at work, I see that as a red flag, because I know it's because he's home with his girlfriend or his wife. So if I'm talking to a guy and he only makes time for me in the daytime, I'm like, my mind is like, okay, why doesn't he want to talk at night? Why is he not FaceTiming me at night? Who's at his house? Like, that's what's happening in my mind. And so that's a trigger, because it triggers a negative response, and I have to worry and I have to wonder, okay, what is he doing? Why doesn't he want to talk to me at this time? Then I go in this, I'm triggered, so I'm going to be emotional and stuff. But that's what I'm learning. I've been learning this stuff for many, many years, like, okay, what is this thing causing inside of me? And then how am I going to react now? And so now I am reacting in like a mature way of I could just watch and wait and see what happens. And like if it's ongoing, then something's up if that person is only talking to you at a certain time. So, like, that's a trigger. I'm like, because it triggers a negative response. But then, if you worked on your triggers, you'll be healthier. Like, you won't go crazy. You won't crash out because you learnt, like, okay, this is happening right now, and you understand your feelings of why you're feeling a certain way. So, like, it makes me a little bit anxious, a little bit nervous, a little bit worried, but I'm not crashing out and be like, oh, what you doing at this time? Why won't you go? I'm like, I'm not going to do that, because I learnt myself, and I've learnt, okay, this person could be doing something else. They could be asleep. There could be a real reason, and yeah. So it's good to learn about yourself and the way that you react, so that you can change the course of, a potential relationship and things like that. So yeah, but I've mentioned many times that that's a red flag. if that person can't make time for you, like when they can, it's just not it. There's something hidden, they're hiding something. And like there was a lot hidden in my last relationship, so I know the signs and the patterns in these men. So I be on the lookout for that, and I'm not just gonna crash out and be all blah 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 blah. Because what if there's a good explanation? Then I'm ruining something that could have been a beautiful thing. So that's why you gotta learn to work on your triggers. Otherwise, every relationship that you have is gonna end up the same way, not good. You could be missing out on the most amazing person because you were, hurt in the past. And that's why you learn yourself and your triggers so that you can create this healthy relationship with this person that you like a lot.